Welcome back, everybody, to Sports Talk, along with the Monster, Mondo Medina. I'm Steve Kaplowitz as we continue here on this Thursday, just 2 days before the Battle of I-10. And Monster, I think a lot of fans getting geared up for the annual battle between the Miners and the Aggies, this time in Cruces at Aggie Memorial Stadium.
A lot of people excited last year at the Sun Bowl. This year it's an NMSU. I'm very excited about this game, very excited about our guest.
Oh, absolutely right. He joins us on our Village Inn hotline, where all of our guests always appear. He's the head football coach at New Mexico State, Doug Martin. Coach, first off, great to have you back on the program. And, man, I'm sure that the buzz in Las Cruces is a lot of people excited, ready to go. And considering you've got the Miners and Lobos coming up here in the next couple of weeks, it's usually the biggest rivalry games fans are going to see all year.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me. Yeah, it was. This is a big 2 weeks coming up, and the opening game we had 27,000 people here, and that was a great atmosphere and a great game. Went right down the wire. And this one, I'm sure, will be a packed house. Also, usually is, and we haven't won this game in a long, long time. And if our players want to win it this year, they're going to have to do things differently than they've done in the past.
Were you on the staff the last time that the Aggies were able to beat the Miners?
No, I was not. I was here in 2011 for 1 year and then left to go to Boston College and then back. So I think that's been quite some time.
Well, I know the fans are geared up for it. And you tell me firsthand, okay, what it was like to have a packed house last week against Georgia State and have those 27,000 rooting for you.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was a real college atmosphere, and it's what this place can be every Saturday. You know, this is a college town. You're the only show in town. That's what it ought to be like. And, certainly we've got to win games and be competitive and get that to keep going that way. But it was a great vision of what the future can be like around here. And our administration, Mario Mochar, just did a great job with that, getting that thing done, our new athletic director, and it was just a great atmosphere.
Coach, without a doubt, your quarterback Tyler Rogers had an incredible game last week, and it's also no mystery that the UTEP secondary is very weak, so you guys got to be salivating at the opportunity for Tyler Rogers to have another great game against UTEP like he did last week.
Well, Tyler's maturing. Last year our Achilles heel were the turnovers. We had 34 turnovers, which is one of the most in the conference and the nation, actually. So, we've done well so far in the first two games with that. If he can continue that, then he'll be effective. Now, UTEP, I mean, you got to look at who they played, too. I mean, Arkansas and Texas Tech, those are two of the premier teams in the country, and but they can make anybody look bad.
And you guys got a running back in Larry Rose. A lot of people like to compare to Aaron Jones here at UTEP. Tell us about Larry Rose.
Yeah, Larry is an excellent running back. He was a freshman of the year in the conference here last year in the Sun Belt Conference and had a tremendous year, ran for over 1,000 yards. He's about 15 pounds heavier now, getting bigger. So he's a true sophomore now. And I think Larry does have a lot of abilities. He catches the ball well in the backfield. I wouldn't say he's in the same class with Aaron Jones right now. I mean, I think Aaron Jones is an NFL running back, and that's certainly a big loss for UTEP.
But at the same time, you guys, I guess, dodge a bullet in the sense that without Aaron Jones, there's still a lot of mystery here in El Paso as to who's going to really step up in his absence.
Yeah, well, they've got good running backs. I mean, they've got other guys that have played a lot of football and done very well. And, we haven't been very good stopping the run, especially last season. We've done a little bit better this year so far, but it'll certainly be a test for us.
Well, I look at the way these two teams match up, and this could be a score-a-thon. I mean, there's no denying it that these two teams could put up a lot of points, and kind of like last year a little bit, maybe last team standing at the end wins, Coach.
Well, you just never know in rival games how things are going to go. I know both teams need this win badly. Both teams want this win badly, fan bases, the whole thing. But this is what college football is all about, and it should just be a great atmosphere.
As far as the players go, do they treat this game differently, knowing how close in proximity these two schools are?
I think there's always a little more edge to the two rival games that we have, especially this one being 30 miles apart. There's something to that. And the fact that, again, we haven't won this game in a long time, so no players here have ever experienced winning this football game. And that's what I've been telling our team. If you want to be different, if we're really going to be a different program, then it has to start by winning one of these games that we haven't won in a long time.
And as far as the fans go, especially the boosters, Coach, they take these games very seriously. Not as if they don't really do the same with conference action, but they always say that when it comes to the games that really matter, UTEP and New Mexico, those are the games they want the Aggies to always come out on top.
Well, that's true. Of any fan base, Alabama, Auburn, all of them have the same deals. You got to win those rivalry games, and we're going to do our best to get it done Saturday.
What's the biggest challenge you've had into trying to build this tradition? You alluded to that earlier. You mentioned it's a college town. It's a great atmosphere. Yet we've talked about this a lot here in El Paso, that when you have a school that hasn't really achieved a winning tradition in so many years, it's up to you to really try to develop that again and get the fans accustomed to coming out and watch the team win.
Yeah, that's a great question. We inherited a tough situation here. The scholarship numbers were down. The facilities needed to be upgraded. There needed to be some conscious efforts put into football, which we've gotten that from our administration. We've gotten the scholarship numbers are really fixed here for the first time. We were playing with 62 scholarships the last 2 years, and you should be at 85. So this is the first year we've actually had that fixed, and we need another class to really get it over the top. The facility improvements have been outstanding. Our recruiting has really changed. We're not into the junior colleges and transfers and all that stuff anymore. We're building it with high school players, and we've recruited very well. We only have 2 classes here. So we probably need one more to get that done. But you have to build an infrastructure before you're going to have a program. And no one ever wanted to take the time to build an infrastructure here at New Mexico State where it would be something that lasts. And that's what I was wanting to do. And, whenever that time is that I walk out of here, there's going to be a good football program here.
Would you almost call that infrastructure and that plan about a 3 to 5 year plan to really get it to where it needs to be?
Yeah, it's at least 3 recruiting classes. And, again, we have 2 here right now. We need one more recruiting class to really get this thing solid and where you can compete every week. But, yeah, it takes time, but it's the only right way to do it. If you come in with that quick fix mentality, you're just – you're not going to get that done.
But here's the hard part, too, okay? You're dealing with a school that doesn't have a large budget, especially when it comes to football, which you need. So you really have to almost be what you would call a smart shopper in how to build the best possible with really the limited resources that you do have.
Well, that's true. You have to more than recruit, you have to evaluate very well. And the example of that is Larry Rose, you already brought up. We were Larry Rose's only Division 1A scholarship offer. But we were right. We selected the right guy. We've got to take kind of the unfinished product and get them here and put them in the weight room and develop players. And that's how you win at the mid-major level. And our administration has really stepped up. I mean, our players have some nice facilities here now. New $1 million weight room, $1 million field. We're putting skyboxes in the stadium now. We've changed the nutrition system here for the players. So there have financially been some real gains done here also in the last 2 years. As
far as your relationship with boosters go, I know that's so key at any school, but are there enough people in place as far as the Aggie X's go that if you can really connect to them, all of a sudden now you're getting a lot of these boosters contributing good dollars that are going to help this program go? Yeah,
and that's one of the problems here in the past. Coaches had come and go so much, and everybody was after that quick fix it. Nobody ever bothered to get those guys back in this football program, and we've worked extensively in trying to get former players back involved and former alums back involved in this program, and that's been very well received since I've been here, and we're going to continue to get that done.
Aggie head coach Doug Martin with us on our Village Inn hotline as we continue. Now, Monster asked you about Tyler Rogers and Larry Rose III. Tyrone Taylor had 10 catches for 206 yards and a pair of touchdowns in that loss to Georgia State. Was that a pleasant surprise for you, Coach?
He has been a pleasant surprise. We brought him in January as a junior college transfer, and Tyrone has been excellent. He had a good spring. I wouldn't say a great spring, but a good spring. This summer, I really saw him start to grow and mature, and he had a fantastic two-a-day camp. And he's been pressed by O.J. Clark, one of our freshman players that's played very well also, and that's helped make Tyrone better. But he kind of had a breakout game there Saturday, and hope he can continue that. I'm sure that if you had to go to the blueprints, throwing the ball for 55 times and 400-plus yards is not exactly ideal in any situation. But with your offense, would you like to try to keep putting the ball in the air at least 30 times a game to try and generate a successful pass? We certainly want to be, a team that can throw the ball effectively. We'd like to have great balance in our offense. Now, we were behind a lot in that game the other night. We had to throw a little bit more than probably we normally would, but we certainly love to have balance, but we like to think that we can throw the ball as well as anybody.
Tell me a little bit about your defense. We've talked so much about the offense. How about the Aggie defense this year?
Yeah, we're really young on that side. We started 6 true freshmen last year, so those guys all came back. They're bigger, stronger. I think we're a bigger, stronger football team defensively than what we've been here in the past, especially our front 7. Hopefully we can play the run a little bit better than we did last year because of that. But we still have a lot of youth there. We have a couple of true freshmen that are still playing for us. Terrell Hanks is a true freshman. You'll see outside linebacker that has been exceptional in the first 2 games. The Florida game, he led us in tackles, caused a fumble, recovered the fumble. So he's been really good. But we're still a work in progress on that side of the ball.
Coach, you guys are 0-2, but it's a different 0-2. It's a different feel for you guys there. I know a lot of people from Las Cruces are very, very excited about this team. Can you feel that on campus, especially this week, going up against UTEP?
Yeah, I think you certainly do. I mean, we've got better players because we've recruited the last 2 years, again, very effectively, and we're kind of changing a mindset and a mentality here. But again, it takes wins to get that done. And at some point, you have to have that key win that really gets your team believing and get you over the hump and get you on a roll. UTEP got that last year and had a tremendous year. So, that's what we're really searching for.
Well, before you, start really the meat of your conference action, you've got the game in Albuquerque with New Mexico next week, and then you get to go to Oxford and take on Ole Miss. So I think there's a lot of similarities between both UTEP and yourself. You might not play in back-to-back weeks like they did here in El Paso with the trips out to Arkansas and Lubbock, but you're still playing Florida and Gainesville. You're still going to go up against Ole Miss in Oxford, and hopefully the Aggie athletic department bus stays in good shape after the trip to Oxford.
Yeah, right. It was rough the first trip, but those games, we make a lot of money in those games, and those are great opportunities for our guys to play against some top tier teams, and our guys like to prove they can play at that level, as I'm sure UTEP did against Arkansas and Texas Tech, and that's kind of going to be that way here for a while. You mentioned the financial things. Football drives athletic departments, and next year it's Texas A&M and Kentucky for us. So we have 2 more next year.
Well, it's going to be. I'll tell you what. Let's worry about this year before we worry about next year. But you're right. Every year is the same thing.
I just want a lot of people. I want this game to be sold out. I really do, because it's going to be an incredible game this Saturday. I really do.
It is.
Well, I think you're right, and I think it'll probably be close to that, if not that. You got 2 teams that, like I say, are really hungry for a win, and 2 teams that battle well each year.
Absolutely right, Coach. We'll look forward to seeing you Saturday night. Thanks for the time.
Good luck, Coach.
Best of luck.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Head coach Doug Martin with us on our Village Inn hotline here on Sports Talk as we continue. Monster,
yes,
again, listening to Coach Martin talk about his vision, his program, and really what he's trying to build. So many similarities between the 2 schools.
It's crazy how they seem so much alike. Really, just like the schedule. You pointed out the teams that they're going to be playing as well.